Matt Nolte and Nick Percat alongside me, and we'll check out the grid very soon, but that was one for the ages, that race.
It was, and it's funny, look how young Scotty looked, and he's still young, and yeah, obviously an awesome result in front of this amazing Kiwi crowd.
Craig Woods will start from pole position for the Aussie racing cars, their non-championship event here at Pukekohe Park, their first time. Blake Scaberis will be on the front row. Kel Tressler and James Duckworth. Watch for that row, the second row of the grid. Brendan Pingle and Kyle Clues, Grant Ludby and Peter Carr. Charlotte Pointing qualifies inside the top 10. Now, she started from 9 last week and won her first ever race at Hampton Downs. Angus Fogg changed an engine and gearbox yesterday, but quoted a bit down on power, so watch for him out of 11. Down to the likes of Kent Quinn, Ian Shivers and Ruth Bowler, who had dramas during qualifying yesterday aboard car number 9. Now in the background, you picked up a car that spun on the formation lap. That's not the first time that's happened today in our support categories. Let's watch this.
Just gassed her up on the exit of the hairpin. They're actually using first gear in the Aussie racing car at the hairpin, so obviously right in the power band there and just looped on the cold tyres, but this is going to be action aplenty. Well,
it was action in qualifying yesterday. Felt like it was a race, and you can see some of the cars, in particular Jeff Waters' car back there. We saw plenty of race tape on board the number 96 car. Here is Angus Fogg. Well known in this part of the world. He's done many laps at Pukekohe Park Raceway. Like we said, a non-championship race, but still points on the line and pride. The pressure's off, the championship's done, and it's time to get it on for race number 1 of the Aussie racing cars here in New Zealand. Lights out, great start from the front row. Duckworth has made a great start, not so from Kel Tressler, as Brendan Pingle moves down the inside. He'll go 3 wide into turn number 1.
Instantly 3 wide, that's why we love Aussie racing cars, and it's going to get through turn 2 nice and clean. It's a bit of a lock-up in the background. Everything very well behaved, which is good, and Kel's managed to hold on to 4th after that poor start.
Up on the curbs there for some of the midfield races as down the back straight for the first of 12 laps. Starting order based on qualifying from yesterday. Here's Angus Fogg up to 10th position already. The beautiful black and gold, number 39. Late on the brakes, semi-cold tyres at the moment. As through comes our leader, it's Blake Scaberis, and a challenge on for second between Duckworth and Craig Woods.
Been a real good start for Duckworth. He's made up ground. His actual launch wasn't great, but then cold tyres into that greasy section in the last sector. He's come alive as Kel's just going to sneak through to third.
He's got back up to 3rd position aboard the number 75 cars and the former karting star. Inside the top 3 as the cars squirm their way through the final set of turns, and a challenge on. Watch Duckworth. The confidence is high after winning the championship at Hampton Downs last week, and he's right in the slipstream now of our race leader Blake Scaberis as we complete lap 1.
You can see he's actually very confident in these greasy conditions. Duckworth, as he hits the lead at turn 1, really nice move, but half the track seems to be a little bit greasy, so a few of them are slipping and sliding, and Duckworth just absolutely having a red hot go here, and already got a little gap onto the back straight, which is crucial to try and break that slipstream.
A couple of raindrops on our lenses just then too at turn 4 and 5, so all of a sudden it's 5 or 6 Aussie racing cars in a battle here for the lead. So we head down, look at the carnage marks on the wall there from the previous race in the Toyota 86s as Duckworth leads us down to turn 5.
This is where they need to be a little bit careful. So obviously this is where it gets a little bit greasy for them at the hairpin, and this is where we saw the car spinning on the warm-up lap, so any passing move down here is going to be pretty dicey.
And notice nobody's on the inside of that corner now with all the dirt and mud that's been worn out. Tressler under siege here from Woods and Brendan Pingle, who's gone back to the 29 number after handing the championship back over the first time to James Duckworth. As through they come, and Tressler will just want to look forward here.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs to get the eyes forward. I actually bumped into him at dinner last night. I said, mate, you need to be flat through the last corner and keep that momentum up. So obviously still building up on that as he's in a big battle here with Woods.
This is good stuff on lap number 3 through turn 1. You feel the bump in your supercar going through there. These guys would feel it even more.
Yeah, exactly. And the suspension's pretty limited on these cars. You can't actually change the suspension as we see more raindrops on the lens there. And I think we're in for a pretty action-packed race. It looks pretty dark down the back straight, and Kel looks like he's struggling a little bit on the colder conditions. Actually made an engine change last night, so maybe it's not really working out for him just yet. But yeah, definitely under siege from everyone.
Here's Pingle down the inside. He's going to get hung out here. He'll drop 2 positions perhaps as we sweep through turn 6. So the 61 of Peter Carr come out of nowhere and gets ahead of the man from the Lockyer Valley, the RJ's Licorice entry, car number 29. It's still very greasy at this point of the track, but we've got light rain at the opposite end.
Exactly, and these guys, they don't have a wiper. They're, have a look at the start.
So this is Angus Fogg. They're not easy cars to get away, are they?
They're not, because it is a motorbike engine, so the clutch is very short, and obviously it's not on the handlebars like a motorbike. Oh, around the outside. Here we go.
And that was Charlotte pointing. Just eased him up onto the curb.
Have a bit of the sausage curb, but the clutch in these cars, it's actually not in a normal position. It's quite high up on the left-hand side, so your foot's actually off the, good slide, off the floor tray of the car, so they are difficult to control the clutch, so that's why you see them bogged down quite easily.
And it is downhill from pretty much the second half of the grid as it settles down as much as it can in an Aussie racing car race. On lap 4 and 12, dark conditions here at Pukekohe Park. It's going to be one of those days you get the feeling with qualifying for the supercars to follow this. Watch this three-car battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th.
And now we can see lines, as Kel tries to sing up inside, we can see lines off the tyres, so there's definitely moisture on the track, and they're lapping nearly 4 seconds slower than qualifying, so definitely very greasy conditions. Only going to get worse, it seems, so they're doing well to keep all the black stuff.
As much as you're liking seeing this racing right now, you're nervous about qualifying coming up because it's going to be unpredictable.
Yeah, well, thankfully for me, I don't make the decision on what tyre we're on, so my engineer...
Oh!
That Pingle?
That was Pingle, and how he controlled it, we'll never know. Big moment coming through the backside of the circuit. Wow.
That was huge, and Kel, he's really struggling at that last corner. Everyone's having a nibble at him at turn 1.
So that's Peter Carr, who qualified in 8th position. It's now up to 4th. He's the mover and shaker in this one, but it's Duckworth with a 1:16.97. The quickest lap of the race. The margin is 1.7 seconds.
And just as the sun starts to come out, we see the first sector absolutely light up on our timing monitors. So this track's been interesting this weekend. A little bit of rain, and if it starts to dry, it's actually faster than when it's full dry with sun on it. So might see some pretty speedy lap times if this final sector does eventually dry up.
It's instant grip, isn't it? And you don't see this at any other racetrack. Quite unique conditions here at Pukekohe Park Raceway. There is Brendan Pingle under siege now from Grant Ludby as down the inside goes Cressida. Muscles his way past the number 64. And some position up now. So Woods who started from pole position, just drop back through the order a bit. Side by side, we saw this in the Utes earlier today. You can do that in these cars, there's plenty of room.
That was really good driving by all of them from the hairpin all the way to the start-finish line. Side by side, hard racing as they're continuing it down into turn 1.
Oh, man. Side by side still. And we've seen the drivers use a lot more of the curb on the inside of turn number 1 than what we saw yesterday. There was Kyle Clues backing the Darrell Lee Sticks entry into turn 1. And a 4-car scrap-on inside the top 5. Now, this is what happened on the previous lap. Watch Pingle squirm his way at the back. Very lucky indeed to not turn that car right.
Yeah, there's a big bump there, and it looks like he's just hit on the wrong angle, and the Aussie car just flew him full sideways, so that would have got his attention.
It's further back in the field now. The Western Sydney Motorsport entries across the top of turn. All car going off the circuit almost in the foreground of that shot. If you just joined our coverage today, they've taken away the gravel on the inside curve there, which basically is like a cliff now. If you go off there, you can do big damage to the inside rims on the right-hand side. Everybody knows that. Through they come again. So it's Woods, who started from pole position, going side by side and had to give the position up. They're coming up to Ruth Bowler here to put her a lap down. She's been struggling with that car for the past week here in New Zealand, just letting the faster cars go by. Oh, you get the feeling this is going to get angry.
It is, and 2 wide, 2 by 2 into turn 1 at Pukekohe is definitely impressive. And look at, they're giving each other heaps of margin. This is where it gets a little bit dicey. Oh, big moment there in the background. And well done to them all again. Get themselves sorted out for the back straight and get that slipstream happening.
7 cars. He wouldn't like to be the leading guy in this one. In this case, it's Pingle. And Ludby pulling out for the pass. He's got the better line. We're going to go 3 wide. easy as you like. And now Woods, who drifted back from pole position, starts to right the wrongs of race number 1 of the Aussie racing cars as we're inside the second half, just like that.
And as these guys are doing that, they've actually lost 6 seconds to the leaders, and this lap alone, Duckworth's lead's gone from 1.7 seconds to 0.3, so I'm not sure if he's made a mistake somewhere or just struggling a bit with the changing track conditions. He is the pioneer of the field. He's learning it for the group, basically, but that top 3's closed up massively, and Kell's only 1 second adrift now.
He's 5 seconds ahead of Carr, then this group of cars, including Ludby, Pingle, Clues, and Angus Fogg. As through they go, turn number 1. Some on the limit are going through there.
I think what's happened here is when he's got the lap traffic, it's obviously really hurting him because he's the first one there, so the lap traffic doesn't know he's coming, and then by the time it's happened, obviously the Kell and everyone else get to catch up.
That was Matty Lynch, they just went past, so he's gone a lap down back in 23rd position. As down the back straight goes James Duckworth, your new Aussie Racing Cars champion for 2016. Of course, this is not a championship round, but anyone would think there's $1 million on the line here.
They should have put some money up for it. That would have...
Something we don't know here, perhaps.
And I think if these two keep battling as hard as they are, Kell could just sneak his... Oh, God, that was a huge moment. Kell's just snuck his way onto this little group here. Third in line, gets the double slipstream, so... if he plays it smart, it's a bit like a Formula V race. You need to just position yourself for that last lap.
Kel Tressiter is in the box seat here. We come through to complete lap number 8, so still plenty of time on side. But it's Duckworth just over a car length ahead now. Blake Scaveris, the young fella who stepped up from karting and doing sensational things in the Aussie racing cars. But Tressiter is the one to watch in car 75. They make it look easy. I'm sure it gets their attention. Big lock up this time. So Scaveris is the man in the sandwich, and there's more traffic ahead.
Yeah, so Scaveris is driving the absolute wheels off this thing. He's the only man in the 13s, so obviously back down to that kind of qualifying time, and lap traffic does the right thing. Hopefully they've both seen the leaders coming through here.
That was goodbye. The next group of cars have gone a lap down. Ian Shivers is in the mix there as well.
Good.
So that's eliminated that problem. And now Tressiter pushes it down the inside, puts the elbows up and goes up to second.
He's actually passed everyone in that spot. He comes off turn 5 and just straight lines it to turn 6. It's a really good move. Obviously the person doesn't expect it to come there, so slight contact, but front wheel, fair play, and that was a really good move for second place there.
Very aggressive move, and it was enough to get the KKP entry up into 75. Great support from Team Navy down both sides of car 75. He joined the series last year at Sydney Olympic Park. Went on an absolute rampage with race wins in the latter part of the season. And now chases the man who will carry number 1 for the next 12 months. And here's how it happened.
This is the moment earlier.
So that's the mud that's been pouring on the side there. That was a big puddle of water earlier today. They've avoided it most of the race. Some more replays happening, and there's the first car to oh, see how big that is. Well, they've taken away that gravel on the inside. I think they go down a bit like the Bermuda Triangle. They go in and don't come out. You feel every bump, every curb in one of these cars.
You can just see how rough it was on board then, so did well to keep it off the fence.
Pingle and Ludby now. So Pingle down the inside for 5th position. This battle's been going on for quite some time now. Lap 10 of 12, so closing stages. And now Tressiter applying the blowtorch to the back of the RDA brakes entry of James Duckworth. Seen him up nicely. If he gets the run through here, he'll be looking fine. That's your leaderboard, less than 3/10. It's visual now as they sweep through the final set of turns into this long downhill main straight. The crowd continues to pour in. Qualifying coming up for the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship after this. Through turn number 1. Scaveris sitting back with a popcorn, and see what happens between these two right now.
Duckworth definitely is super fast. He's pushing the wind. The other two are getting the advantage of the slipstream, so he's definitely the fastest car, but you know, trying to get a big enough margin between from turn 1 to 4 is the key for him, as Kell's just sucking up on the rear bar. What we see is
well, here he comes.
Oh, he's
long way back. He likes this, and he's going to do it nicely. shuts the door before Duckworth could do anything about it. And our new race leader takes us out of turn 6. What can Duckworth do? Can he respond here? We remarked about how confident he is. He sticks it back down the inside. That answers that question. This is great. This is going to go side by side. Oh, this is cool. He's trying to push him out to shut the door, isn't he?
He is, and with the Aussie racing car, any extra meterage you have to carry obviously takes time. So Cal was on the wrong side of the road then. If that was the supercars, we would have been able to go side by side all the way through because we got triple the horsepower. So really good driving by those two. Cal sent it in from a long way back at turn 5, and then Duckworth returned the favour at the hairpin.
And suddenly it's 4 cars on the last lap of the race, down to the S's. We've got Woods suddenly in this. Behind Scaberis, and Tressiter ahead. He's got better drive out of that turn.
And Cal will be doing this for he's got a rest in peace Nathan on the side of his car. He's doing this for a really good friend and a sponsor. So for him to get this win will be huge, and you know, tragic loss for him during the week. So hopefully he gets the win. Just be good for their team and their whole crew. But it's on down here at the turn 5 and 6.
4 cars throw a blanket on him. Here he comes. He tries it again. Carbon copy of what we saw. He pushes Duckworth out. They bump again. This is great. He pushed him to the mud. And now, watch Scaberis in this. Nobody is going to... This is incredible stuff. So 4 cars. Duckworth leads us at the moment, but there's still about 400 metres of racing.
I think he's going to hold on, unless Cal can get some ridiculous slipstream to the finish line.
There's no championship points on this, but don't tell these guys that. As through they come to get the checkered flag, and what a win. He's just going to do it. Duckworth by 900ths of a second. In a race that was absolutely anybody's. 4 cars could have won that on the final couple of turns there, and Duckworth, 900ths, it was 6/10 covering the top 3. Woods will be 4th, who started from pole position. He dropped down the order, but was in the market to win that race. Whew. And Duckworth, who only collected 2 race wins in the championship, picks up the non-championship race win here. And that is the margin. Less than 1/10 of a second ahead of Cal Tressler, Blake Scaberis. It would be Woods in 4th position. Wasn't registering on our screens. Behind them was Carr, Pingle and Ludby. Back to Angus Fogg, who got inside the top 10.